Chihuahua. Chocolate so sacred. You piss and they touch it. Chocolate that demands respect.
High stakes, big egos, plastic containers.
Who's that?
Let's do something about it. New Vagisil Ultra Fresh Intimate Spray in the healthcare aisle.
I'm thinking sweet, and I'm thinking you.
Everyone is in for a treat with up to half-price savings in the sale of the summer at DFS. There are hundreds of thousands of savings to be made. All it's all for just $4.99.
I'm thinking sunshine, I'm thinking sunshine, I'm thinking sunshine.
And to make you even more comfortable, there's 4 years interest-free credit with no deposit. The sale of the summer at DFS, making every day more comfortable. 5 USA presents. He's heard from me for 10 years. A season of mysterious tales, of secrets and suspense. Continues with World to Kill, 10 o'clock Friday on 5 USA.
In 2005, the city of Phoenix fell victim to a string of random shootings that targeted people, pets and property, creating a climate of fear that left its citizens captive in their own homes. By the summer of 2006, with the body count ever rising, detectives began to close their net around a pair of killers who it seemed were hunting the ultimate prey. An appeal for information to identify the culprits behind 2 supermarket fires would result in investigator Daryl Smith receiving a vital tip-off.
Eventually, we did get a call. I had an extensive conversation with that person. That person was Ron Horton.
Ron was a local biker who had recognized one of the men in the CCTV footage as his regular drinking buddy, Sam Diekman.
He told me that he was hanging out at one of these bars, the Stardust, and Sam Diekman was one of the people that he frequents in there all the time. And one night, Sammy was in the bar with Ron, and Sammy asked him if he knew what it was like to kill somebody.
Ron looked at him and said, "What are you talking about? No, I've never killed anybody." And he said, "Well, I know what it feels like."
Sammy started telling him that he was the one shooting these people throughout the valley.
With investigators finally in possession of the lead they'd been so tirelessly searching for, they would set to work putting an end to the serial shooter's reign of terror, once and for all.
When I first talked to Ron on the phone, he agreed to meet with Sammy.
However, despite Ron's best efforts to coax his friend to a meeting, Diekman stubbornly refused. Tragically, that night Robin Blasnik would become the next victim of the serial shooters, the latest in a run of unprecedented violence that numbered 47 separate incidents.
A young girl, Robin Blasnik, 22 years old, had been shot at exactly the time that he was texting back and forth with Sam.
Although it was too late to save the life of Robin Blasnik, Ron arranged a meeting with Sam the following night, and the police were determined that they would finally get their man.
Finally, the meeting did happen. They showed up at the Stardust bar, and when Sammy showed up, he was being driven to the bar by Dale Hausner. We continued the surveillance into the night.
Dale took Sam home, back to their apartment, and the surveillance continued.
A wiretap wiretap at Hausner's apartment provided investigators with a chilling insight into the minds and motivations of this pair of ruthless killers.
During the conversations on the wiretap, they were saying they were pioneers here in the area for shooting so many people.
Hausner had a need to be famous, probably because he wanted to compensate for deep and strong feelings of inadequacy and inferiority that led to the core of his personality.
They were annoyed with the media coverage because they weren't getting the number of victims correct.
They wanted to be on top. They wanted to be the ones that were recognized. You know, that it was a competition, it seemed to them. Then they started talking about Robin being killed the night before. They made some statements about that shooting, which gave us the indication, obviously, it was them that did it.
With police now in possession of the evidence they needed, they moved swiftly to get their men.
At that point, it was decided that we would make the arrest.
The green light went on. Sammy came out. He was taken down.
Dale was arrested shortly after.
Dale Hausner, wearing nothing but shorts, clearly caught unaware when tactical teams took him into custody Thursday night.
The reactions of Dale and Sammy to their arrest appeared to be no surprise. Calm, no resistance.
On executing a search of Hausner's apartment, the picture became clearer still. The evidence found inside the home of
At the locations of shootings, they corresponded with the dots on the map.
In the trash bag, they found a soda can that had a .410 gauge shotgun shell in it that had been fired.
forensic evidence would later show that the shell had been used in the previous night's slaying of Robin Blasnik. As news spread of the arrest, the people of Phoenix could at last breathe a sigh of relief, and the families of the victims could start to think about justice.
I was at work, and everybody came out and said, Rebecca, they've got the serial killers. They said, they're on TV, they're on TV. And I went back into the lunchroom, and I looked, and I saw them, and my knees fell.
During the interrogation, investigators soon learned more about the two men they had spent so many hours pursuing.
We actually thought that Dale Hausner would be the one to talk, and that Sam Dietman is a big muscular guy, that he would be the ringleader, so to speak.
Dale was, his attitude was, we had the wrong person, wasn't him. He was trying to be Mr. Helpful, you know, in that type of aspect. If you knew anything, you'd certainly tell us.
I stay out of trouble for most of the part, you know, except for alcohol and a little drug that comes out. I haven't been trouble with water, but that would just be so, a kick in the ass for me to spit in the face that someone would use my gun in my car to go out and hurt people like that.
He didn't appear to get rattled much. It almost appeared to me as if he was having fun with it. He was toying with us.
You specifically said, quote, what about the guy who shot at 27th Avenue in New York? Actually, that was me, not him. Okay. Why would you say something like that? People say silly stuff when they're drunk. I don't know what to say.
He loved every minute of that movie. He loved the game, and that's what I think he thought there was.
And he tried the serial killer, the other guy ended up going out shooting people.
What do you know about that particular case?
35 people shot, animals, horses, dogs, 5, 6 people dead.
The closest we got him to any involvement was the hypothetical as well. If my car was used, then Sam must have been taking it when I was asleep.
I'm just saying, but if you kill everything with kill or shot or whatever, that's on him, that's not on me, so I'm not protecting anybody, so.
He definitely believed he was smarter than all the detectives involved.
I'm not a fiend, but you talk about shooting me
the horrific details of the pair's crimes.
Sometimes you just, see somebody and turn around, come back and get him.
Sam Deaton